So there is a total commitment of the US to NATO, a total commitment to the famous Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all, but also clearly a commitment that we have to speed up the spending in Europe, do more ourselves, so that for the US it is possible for them to spend more time and resources on the Indo-Pacific, which I think is logical.
That's NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte at the White House Thursday on the need for Europe to spend more on defense as the U.S. is bolstering its defense in the Pacific against that growing threat of China. This as President Trump simultaneously tries to broker a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia, with Russian President Vladimir Putin meeting with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff in Moscow on Friday. Joining me now with the very latest on the negotiations is U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker. Ambassador, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Give us your sense of progress from our NATO members since you've taken this job.
Yeah. Well, good morning, Maria. It's great to be with you today. Well, I think our European allies and Canada understand that they need to do a lot more than they have since they committed to 2% spending of their GDP on defense and defense-related activities. But, you know, the message now is that's not enough. We have a dangerous world. You mentioned Iran, you know, China. Russia is obviously threatening our European allies especially. And so it's a big, dangerous world. And we all need to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime moment where Donald Trump is leading these alliances to make sure that they are ready to address all of these threats. And, you know, I'm proud to work for him and to deliver this message here in Brussels and across the NATO alliance that we need to spend more money. That money needs to be dedicated to lethality, warfighting. We need to get rid of all the nonsense that we've seen kind of infiltrate our defense complex. And, you know, we're moving out as fast as we can, heading to a summit at the end of June in The Hague that I think is going to be really historical.
And when you say it will be historic, what are you expecting in Hague? I mean, right now, the president is balancing pushing these members to do the right thing and increase their spending on defense while also instituting economic tariffs. So how is that playing into everything?
Well, Maria, you know that those two things are actually related. You know, the underspending on defense coupled with the disadvantageous trade situation where Europe has run a trade surplus with the United States of $250 billion, just below the $300 billion that China has run every year. And so that is unsustainable. And you know, our European allies have to understand the reality of the situation. You know, we want fair, free trade that works for the American people. That's, you know, if you look at Donald Trump's America First agenda that I campaigned all over the United States for in 2016, 2020, and 2024, you know, that is something that delivers for the American worker and the American family. And so, you know, I think our NATO allies completely understand what is at stake, what they need to do. And they also understand that the American people are an ally, that we stand for freedom and liberty all over this globe, and we fully expect that at the end of June we will sign a historic declaration with President Trump there leading the way. And so it's an exciting time, but you know, there's a lot of hard work, and we're rolling up our sleeves to do it.
President Trump told me that he has already saved the United States $5 billion a day, that it was costing us $5 billion a day in tariffs, and now it is at a flat level. That is an incredible number that the president told me about. I want to get your take on what you're expecting to be the first deal with regarding tariffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you know anything about Donald Trump, he is the consummate deal maker. He wrote the book on it. And what you're seeing is he is trying to take these, you know, and prioritize those that are willing to make a deal, those that are willing to lower down and reduce and eliminate the barriers to American products being exported from the United States to our allies and our trading partners. And so, I mean, I think it is right now at the White House. I was just there on Friday with the president. It looks like they are fully working on all of these deals simultaneously, but prioritizing the most important ones first.
Ambassador, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for your leadership. We'll continue to check back with you. U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew
great to see you, Maria.
Whitaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.